Hello team, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Weather's not too bad, we're doing all right. Hope you're enjoying your week so far. Time for a nice long steady run. Remember what I say, it doesn't always have to be high intensity. Don't always try and sprint out the block. Around 70 to 80% can be nice and steady, pretty easy, just to build on that foundation, increase that endurance. So we're aiming for around 9 to 10 miles today. Nice steady pace. Let's get after it. About 6.5 miles in, still sitting at 8-minute miles, around 8:04, 7:56, floating between there. Pacing is key. If you sort your pacing out, running becomes a whole lot easier. So work on your pacing. That's it, 9.5 miles done. Just what we wanted, a good little route planned. I knew it was going to be between 9 and 10 miles. Averaging 19-minute mile pace, which is what we wanted in and around 8 minutes. The last few miles have slowed down, so that's why it's increased, and the first mile is a bit slower because it was my warm-up mile. We're there, we're done. Get in, stretch off, have my recovery meal, shower, and then we're going to talk about how you can increase your run.
So let's get into it then. The main bulk of this video, increasing your run times and your distance. The way we're going to do this is with progressive overload, and I'm sure you've heard that thrown around a lot recently. The reason for that is because it's super important. It's literally one of the main things, or it is the main reason for how you will progress, okay? Whether that's in the gym, running, rowing, cycling, whatever it is. If you want to increase distance, speed, weight, reps, strength, you need to add in progressive overload. I would do a lot more in-depth video just on progressive overload and how you can incorporate it into all of your training routine, so you can build strength, increase size, speed, running, cycling, rowing, whatever it is. But today we're just going to concentrate on running. The next couple of minutes we'll just talk about how you can increase that distance on a run time without you getting too out of breath and feel like you're constantly struggling. So what happens is normally we set off running, and a lot of people will just sprint out the block, going super fast. We use the Army sort of assessment centre as an example, and they're constantly just going to run 2k. They set off exactly the same every time, and all they do is run 2k, 2, 3, sometimes even 5 times a week. And they just do that repetitively, constantly, each week, and every day, each week. What we need to do is we need to work harder than last time, as Greg Doucette would say. So all that means is just adding in slight increases each week, so changing the variables ever so slightly so that you progress, and it only has to be very small. So when it comes to running, you know, you can increase the speed, you can increase the distance, or you can sort of increase the intensity if we're talking about intervals, so you can increase the working time, lower the rest time. But keeping it nice and simple, when it comes to increasing your endurance, your sort of run times, you're either going to increase the speed or the distance, or you're going to do both. And it's going to be small, minute changes. So for someone who's just new to training, okay, so they're quite a young training age, or with no training age at all, they're literally brand new, just start with 5 minutes. Go out on a 5-minute run. Or you can go out run for 2 minutes, walk for 1 minute, run for 2 minutes, and that's your training session done. Someone who's a little bit older in a training age, you can run for 10 minutes, well, walk and run. You can run for 2 minutes, walk for 2 minutes, run for 2 minutes, walk for 2 minutes, run for 2 minutes. And you can do it the other way, run for 2.5 minutes, walk for 2.5 minutes, run for 2.5 minutes, walk for 2.5 minutes. Okay, that walking's still going to be out, walk at a nice fast pace, you're still going to be out working on your cardiovascular fitness. It's going to help you burn fat, it's going to get your steps up and increase calories. And then all you're going to do is the next week, you're just going to increase that ever so slightly. So if in week 1, you ran for 5 minutes, say 1, 2, maybe 3 times a week. In week 2, you can run for 5.5 or 6 minutes. Or if you're doing the run walk, you can increase the time you're running and decrease the time you're walking until you can run a full 5 minutes or run a full 10 minutes. And you're just going to do that every week. Another way you can do it is if you're quite new to training, but you're not very good at running, you still feel you need a lot of work, but you can run a kilometre, okay? Run it at a nice easy pace like I did today, nice steady easy pace. You should be able to hold a conversation on the way around. Run a kilometre, do that 1, 2, maybe 3 times a week. And then you can do that in week 2 if you want, and then in either week 2 and week 3, you can then increase the distance. So you can go from 1 kilometre to 1.5 kilometres, or if that's too much of a jump, you can go to 1.25 kilometres. And then a week or 2, do that for a week or 2, and then a week or 2 later, increase the distance again by 250 or 500 meters. Or we can work in miles, it doesn't really matter. You can run for a mile, do that for a week or 2 at a nice steady easy pace, and then you can increase it 2 or 3 weeks or a week down the line, okay? As long as you're making small improvements every week or 2, you will progress. All it means is you just have to be consistent. Does it mean you have to do it every day, day in, day out? No, if you miss 1 day a week, it's not going to hurt. But you need to be consistent over the weeks and over the months. So small increases. That's how we're going to improve our running and go out nice and easy. So around 70 to 80% of your work needs to be at a nice, easy, steady intensity. There's no point 80% of the training you do being in that 90 to 100% max effort, because all you're going to do is you burn yourself out and you're not going to make much increases because you can't sprint for miles and miles on end, okay? And getting in those longer miles, it's going to build a really good strong foundation. It's going to work on that working capacity, okay? So you're going to be able to work harder for longer, and it's going to build on that endurance. You're going to be able to go further. So nice, easy, steady pace. So a lot of the runs that you should be doing, the majority of them, you should be able to hold a good conversation on the way around. And then you can do a few less steady runs, okay? So where you can just get the odd sentence out. If you were talking to someone, you'd be able to talk in sentences, but you couldn't talk in a full paragraph or talk to someone. And then once a week, once every couple of weeks, depending on your training age, full max tempo runs where you can't really speak at all. You might be able to get the odd words out. But you pretty much go in max intensity. You could do some speed play work or some intervals. But for the majority of you, if you've got a young training age, keep it nice and steady. Go out on nice easy runs, around 1 to 4 in the RPE, and just gradually increase the time, distance, or speed that you go out with on running. Small increases each week or 2, and you will improve your run time, your cardiovascular fitness, and your endurance. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know what you think. Give us a thumbs up if you did. Click that subscription button. Anything else you want to know about fitness, training, the military, then comment below and I'll do a video on it. Hope you enjoyed the video and I'll catch you soon.